Next up, we've got a quick one. It's a property called flex wrap, and it determines whether our elements are going to wrap along the main axis onto a new line, if it's horizontal, or a new column, if it's a vertical main axis. So right now, if I go back, I don't think, we have too much space here for us to actually wrap it anyway. But let's say that I shrink this down. Instead of 1200 pixels, we go back to, maybe 500 pixels for the height of our container. Well, what happens immediately, as we can see, is that these elements shrink way down. They're supposed to be 200 pixels tall, but instead they squash down so that they fit in this height. But I can set flex-wrap to wrap. There's really only two keywords you need to know, wrap and wrap reverse. So I'm going to set it to wrap, and you'll see what happens. All of a sudden, our elements go top to bottom, and then a new column, top to bottom, and a new one, top to bottom. Now, what do we have for our main axis justify content? We have space evenly. But if I change that to, flex start, for example, you'll see that everything is aligned to the top because our main axis is top to bottom. We're in a column. So we also have wrap dash reverse, and you'll see what happens here. Our elements still go from top to bottom. Our main axis is unchanged. But if you remember all the way back in this diagram, there you are. No, there it is. There's a second axis, the cross axis. So in our example, right now, the main axis is top to bottom. But because we set wrap reverse, or we set flex wrap to be wrap reverse, our cross axis now goes right to left. So this is the first thing, second, third, fourth, fifth. So vertical, top to bottom, right to left. If we just went back to wrap, now our main axis is still top to bottom, but the cross is left to right. Now let's switch it up entirely, and let's do this with rows instead. So I'm going to get rid of that. And if I leave everything as is, well, I'm an idiot. I didn't even go back to a row. But if I leave it as is, everything fits just fine in our row. But if I give them a much, much larger width, how about, 600 pixels wide? Well, they all squish down to fit in there. But if I set flex wrap to wrap, there we go. They now wrap onto the next line. So what is the main axis here? Well, it's a row, left to right. What is the cross axis? Top to bottom. But I can change that. Wrap reverse. Now, before I refresh, what change do you think we'll see? Here I go. Well, we're still going left to right, but now we wrap upwards. So we go main axis, left to right, cross axis, bottom to top. If I instead did, row reverse here, or column reverse, main axis changes direction. But that's the main principle of wrapping. It's really common to have elements in a row that you want to wrap over to the next row, or, you can leave it off. The default is to not wrap, or you can explicitly set it to no wrap. So there's actually three values: wrap, no wrap, and wrap reverse. And it will dictate the direction of the cross axis. So here I've pictured it going vertically, but of course we know that it can go horizontally if your main axis is vertical. So the next thing we need to learn is how we distribute space along the cross axis.